Hey everyone! Today we are breaking down Bill 60, the bill every Ontario landlord is talking about right now. Everyone is buzzing about how these changes benefit both landlords and tenants, but there's a big assumption I have to make, that the current tenants are currently grandfathered under their existing leases. And this is how, and Bill 60 is intended to entice those with properties already on the sidelines to make them available as rentals. If you're a non-paying tenant, you will not like Bill 60. But before we get into it, I want to welcome you to the Truth About Real Estate Investing channel for Canadians. My name is Erwin Szeto. I am a wealth architect, realtor, and investor located in Ontario, Canada, Oakville specifically, and I'm on a mission to become the Google map of hardworking Canadians seeking financial freedom. But before we get started, please hit the subscribe button or give us a thumbs up if you find this video useful, and let me know your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I also love hearing your feedback and questions. With that, let's get started. Number one, the lease expiry debate. So first, the proposal that caused the biggest stir out there is ending automatic month-to-month leases. When I first saw it, I was confused. But the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Right now in Ontario, the moment a tenant signs a lease and moves in, the homeowner loses almost all control over their own property. That is a massive risk, especially for homeowners who want to rent out a self-contained unit in their own house. Let me give you an example. I was reading a thread in an Ontario Landlord Facebook group. Someone asked, anonymously, they wanted to protect their privacy. Someone asked if they should rent out their self-contained unit in their own home to a friend for 1 to 2 months. There were more than 40 replies. The vast majority of them, almost all of them said, no, do not do it. Why? Because once the tenant is in, the owner loses rights to their own personal space, including like the driveway, if the tenant chooses to stay. That is if the tenant chooses to stay beyond their lease. To evict, the landlord would have to offer 1 month's rent as compensation to the tenant. And even then, the tenant can file to the tribunal to get a hearing and drag out the process. I've seen this drag out for a year or more, and also they can stop paying rent during that whole time. But imagine if leases had to be renewed. Suddenly, more homeowners would feel safe offering long-term rentals because, say, a homeowner wants to try being a landlord for the first time, they have the option to try it out, right? If the tenant's good, then everyone's happy, more rental supply hits the market, you reward good tenants who are invited to stay. Doug Ford keeps saying he wants more landlords to step forward. Well, you need to protect property rights if that is the goal, to get more landlords to step up and become landlords. Again, grandfathering existing leases would still protect the most vulnerable in all those rent control departments and protecting rent control in general. Number two, no more surprises at the hearing. Next is a huge change. Tenants will no longer be able to raise brand new issues on the day of a rent arrears hearing. This would never fly in a real courtroom, introducing new evidence in the courtroom. But somehow it's allowed to happen at the landlord-tenant board, and it causes massive delays. Bill 60 now requires prior notice, finally. Section 3, my favorite, the 50% rule. This is my favorite part of the bill. Tenants cannot introduce new issues unless they have paid 50% of the rent arrears. So this stops situation where the tenant owes months of rent and then suddenly claims unsafe conditions, or the landlord's not keeping up with maintenance, they're not dealing with pests or whatnot, just to delay the hearing. If you have rent, prove you have rent. If not, pay your arrears. That's just basic fairness, and that's how life works, except for between landlords and tenants in busy places like Ontario, BC, and Quebec. Number 4, limiting endless reviews. Before the pandemic, requesting a review decision was rare. For those who watch courtroom dramas, we know this as appeals. In the tribunal, it's called reviews. During the pandemic, this became the playbook of how to live rent-free indefinitely. A tenant or a tax-funded lawyer that was provided to the tenant would present new evidence to get a review and delay the order of eviction, and then repeat the process again. Some landlords were stuck for months or years. I literally heard of stories where people were stuck 2 years in this process. Bill 60 finally limits when reviews can happen. Number 5, defining persistent late payment. Right now, this persistent late payment is not defined. Every adjudicator interprets it differently. Bill 60 will finally define it, which means more consistency and more fairness. Number 6, faster appeals, faster results. Bill 60 reduces the appeal period from 30 to 15 days. This means faster resolutions, fewer delays, and fewer situations where the landlord has to wait months for the next step. Number 7, landlord's own use. No compensation with 4 months notice. Again, think about it. If someone owns their home and they have a self-contained unit, why would they rent it out? unless you offer them some protection and rights to their own property. Because currently, even if you want your own home back, again, in the situation of a self-contained unit in your own home, you must compensate the tenant 1 month's rent. Under Bill 60, if you give 4 months notice, you will not have to pay that 1 month compensation. Again, we're talking about existing leases being grandfathered. The whole point of Bill 60 is to encourage more homeowners to rent out spaces in their home without losing control of their property. Number 8, shorter eviction timelines. Bill 60 shortens the rent arrears notice period from 14 days to 7 days. This allows landlords to file with the Landlord Tenant Board 1 week sooner. The province claims the average wait time right now is between 8 to 9 weeks. Tenants can still pay at any time during that period or negotiate a payment plan. The tenant still has all the rights. We're just shortening the eviction process by 1 week, a process that normally takes 7-9 months to enforce. We're just shortening things by 1 week. This just helps the landlord move that process along. Number 9, limiting postponements of eviction orders. I understand that adjudicators want to prevent homelessness, but right now, eviction orders can be postponed for months purely based on compassion. Meanwhile, the landlord is providing social housing for free. I had a client whose tenant did not even show up to the non-payment hearing, and it still took 5 months. The tenant no-showed. They lost their case. It still took 5 months after numerous escalations by my client to get that actual eviction order. Bill 60 will create clear rules around when postponements are allowed. Number 10, more sheriffs equals faster enforcement. The province will add up to 8 temporary sheriffs to enforce eviction orders. Sheriffs, my understanding, they are understaffed, they are backlogged, and they perform one of the toughest jobs imaginable. Every day, all they do is remove people from their homes. More staffing is badly needed. Number 11, access to landlord and tenant board decisions. Finally, Bill 60 wants to increase public access to past decisions so landlords and tenants can do proper diligence on each other before signing a lease. This is much like my friend Wei Ting, past guest of the show, Wei Ting at openroom.ca. They're already doing this. More transparency is good for everybody. So that is Bill 60 from a landlord's perspective. Some ideas have already been shot down, but the ones that could survive will make a difference. Faster hearings, fewer delays, and fewer loopholes for those who want to exploit the system. So again, this is bad news for non-paying tenants. If you found this helpful, please make sure you like this video, subscribe, and share it with another landlord who needs to hear it. Thanks for watching. I will see you at the next one. All right, friends, that wraps up another episode of the Truth About Real Estate Investing show for Canadians. Hope you got as much out of this one as I did. Remember that whether you're just starting out or a seasoned investor, there's always something new to learn, and it's always about building that practical knowledge base that gets you closer to financial freedom. If you found value today, please do us a favor and leave us a review or a rating, share this episode with a friend, or better yet, join our community of real estate investors who are taking action and making moves. And hey, if there's a topic you want us to cover, or there's a certain guest you'd like us to have on the show, drop me a line. My DMs are open on social media. Reply to this email that this has arrived on. I'm not hard to find. You know, we're all about getting you the unfiltered truth to help you on your journey. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay smart, stay curious, and keep building that future. Catch you later.